Did you guys notice the dead body in the basement? I thought that was pretty funny. Hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm back with some Paralives information from the weekly dev chats. Today the team has made the October 17th dev chat public, so I'll be going through some of the interesting info from that. The team also put out a video with some information about early access, so I'm going to go through that in a bit more detail at the end of the video as well. So let's get into it. So first question is about shopping. So the question is, with purchasing objects from shops, will the stores have occasional discounts or will the prices in any way vary from the build mode catalog? So stores will have items on discount that will change periodically, so you may be able to find items from the catalog at a cheaper price. I really love this. I love that we'll have functional shops and there's actually an incentive to go there if there's discounts. Kind of adds a bit of realism and something to actually do in the town, like during early access, so that's great. Second question is about drinks. A couple dev chats ago, when someone asked if paras could drink while eating, the answer was there's currently no drinks in the game. Does that mean that something's waiting to be implemented, or will we not have drinks on early access? If not, what would the motive be to visit a place like the cafe? And Jeremy's response is, I mostly meant that right now, when you go and eat something, your parafolk won't also pull out a glass of water or juice out of nowhere and alternate between taking a sip and going to town on that slice of pizza. If you make a smoothie, of course they'll drink it, but for other beverages, it'll go after the early access release. As for the cafe, you can have pastries and the like there, of course. Thanks for the question. This is really interesting. So we will have drinks in the game, but you can't eat and drink at the same time. I think that's fine though. I'm kind of intrigued by the smoothie though, and also the cafe. I can't wait to check it out in game and see what they actually have there. It did look very pretty from the trailer before. I'm quite excited. Question from Lumi. This one is a pretty hotly anticipated question. So when can we expect the computer specs needed for Paralives to be announced? So Gab says we're working on it now. We'll be sharing the minimum system requirements in a few weeks. They did also post on Twitter yesterday. I think it was in response to somebody else, but it did say we will post the minimum system requirements next week. I know a lot of people are really wanting to know what the minimum requirements are, so it's great that we're not going to have to wait too much longer. So next week, yeah, this was posted yesterday, so it shouldn't be long now until we actually find out all of the details. Between the live stream and the last speed builds you shared, I can't wait to see lots of building content in Paralives, especially speed builds that are my favorite type of content to watch. It made me think, what kind of content using Paralives from Life Sims content creators do you look forward to the most? Speed builds, PAM sessions, let's plays, machinima, etc. So the dev chats have more like formal questions like what we've been going through, but they also have more like kind of chatty conversation stuff in there. So this is like part of that I've just pulled out. I just thought this one was quite interesting. So some of the teams say that they want to see more builds, but we also can see at the bottom here, Lena and Charlotte say challenges. So rags to riches challenges, 100 babies, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was actually kind of thinking about this recently, like what kind of challenges we could do in Paralives. I think the different game mechanics might make for some pretty interesting challenges. I definitely do want to try some sort of rags to riches when the game comes out, and I'm definitely going to be recording something for YouTube. But yeah, let me know if you've come up with any interesting ideas with what we know about the game already, and what would you like to see me attempt as well, because I am keen to try whatever. I think it'll be a bit of a trial and error based on what we actually get in early access, and maybe there'll be some surprise features or things that we like don't really know that much about at the moment that might change the way some of these challenges work. But yeah, let me know if you've come up with something interesting. I want to know about it. We have a question about voices. So will para teens have squeaky voices? For early access, teen paras will have the same voices as adults, and children and preteens will have their own voice. I really want to add in all these variations in the future though as we update the game. I think squeaky voices is such a cute idea. It would be great if they added that at some point. I do love that children and preteens already have a different voice, because I feel like it would probably be a little bit jarring if they didn't. I hope one day we get different voices for older paras too. I think that would be quite interesting. I'm very curious as well to see what their idea of different variations would be. Like maybe they've got some other things planned as well, which would be quite fun. So we have one about visitors. Will family members and friends be able to come over to Para's houses and cook or use objects that fill needs, or will they immediately be kicked out? I think this might be referencing The Sims, where if you go over to somebody's house and like use their shower or start cooking, you might actually be kicked out of the house. So Anna's response is they will not autonomously cook or use objects that fill needs except for toilets, but they won't be kicked out either. I am kind of glad that Paras won't come in and use your stove or beds. That probably would get quite annoying after a while, especially, you invite someone, you've got one bed and they decide to use your bed. So I'm glad that that's not going to be a problem. There's one about adoption as well. If one of our Paras children gets taken away by social services, will they be placed into an adoption pool or simply lost forever from the game? Right now we have no adoption system, so they're just flagged to be gone. They're technically still present in your save file, they're not deleted, but for all intents and purposes, they're just gone. There is a cheat that currently can be used to bring them back, so if you know what you're doing, you can do that. Good to know they're not actually deleted and we can get them back if we choose to. I'm not sure what bugs we'll get in early access, but yeah, if there's something that's preventing us from meeting the child's need for whatever reason, then at least if they do get taken away, you can just get them back. But also, sometimes you focus on other things happen, your kids get taken away. It happens to all of us. There's another question about assignments. So will Paras be able to claim or be assigned objects such as beds so they can autonomously choose to sleep in their own bed rather than any random bed in the house? It's not currently a mechanic we have, but it is on the list. So we don't have the ability to claim beds from the start, but I'm glad it is something that they do have planned. I started playing The Sims 2 again this year, and I hadn't played it since probably 2009, I think it was, when The Sims 3 came out, and I'd completely forgotten that in Sims 2 bed claiming wasn't a thing, and I was so confused when everyone was just using different beds. There is a mod for it in Sims 2, but yeah, it's just kind of funny when the wrong person is sleeping in a bed. You might have a double bed meant for parents, for example, and then the kids start sleeping in there. So that's probably something we will have to put up with in Paralives for a bit, but at least it's on their list. It's something that they'll be adding in at some point. Can you lock doors for specific Paras? For example, maybe there's a door only household members can use or one specific person can use. And Jeremy says, see above answer, so many things to do, so little time. So yeah, looks like another thing that they're planning to add in later. So we can't lock doors for the time being, but it will be coming. And this one's about aging. I thought this was quite an interesting question. So will there be any other features to aging other than getting wrinkles and grey hair? Elderly people tend to get a tiny bit shorter, which I think they've said is too small a difference to be worth it, but they also tend to get larger ears and noses as the cartilage keeps growing. By old age, it can make quite a large difference to the face. Also, a lot of elderly people get more frail, lose weight, and have decreased appetite. So Sonia says, yes, there's a few automatic modifications for some life stages, like for kids. So bigger head, eyes, smaller nose, thinner, smaller mouth, softer jaw, and others. For elders, like you said, weight loss, but it's mainly on the end, so arms and legs, and older people tend to store fat in the trunk from what I've searched. I can't remember exactly what other changes I added, but like you said, bigger ears and nose. For height, we didn't make them shorter, but their posture is more arched to appear shorter, droopy eyes, and thinner lips. This is quite interesting. So they did actually add in some changes for the elder Paras. I remember in a previous video we talked about the height of elders and how they shrink, and how maybe it'd be possible to mod in a shrinking of height and an adjustment of posture to make them a bit more slouched as they get older. But yeah, it looks like elders will already have that kind of arched posture once they age up. Yeah, I think this is some really great detail for realism, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in the game, having one Para and aging them up through all the different life stages and seeing how they actually change over time. That'll be quite fun to see it in a Para that you've created yourself. The Paralives team also just uploaded a new video with some early access information, so if you haven't seen it already, I do definitely encourage you to give it a watch. But I also wanted to break it down a little bit here in terms of what does this actually mean generally, and what does it mean more specifically for live mode, Paramaker, and build mode. So just some general information. Early access is from December 8th, and early access is basically where a game is released unfinished and players are able to play the game early and give the developer feedback while they're still building the game. So we play the game and then we tell them what we like and what we don't like, and we report things like bugs we find so that they can build the game accordingly and fix any issues that we find as well. So it is incomplete. There will likely be bugs and issues like crashing as well. And the features in the game are currently not finished and some will be missing entirely, but things will be coming out gradually over the next couple of years. There is a roadmap that they have on their website, so if you want to see exactly what features are going to be coming out in early access, you can take a look at that. They're still saying that future expansions and updates will be free, so we can purchase the early access version of the game, and if you don't really like what's in there, if it's a little bit too bare bones for you, then you can just wait until the updates actually come out, or you can wait until they come out and then purchase it then. It's really up to you, however you want to play it. But if you do want to provide the team with feedback about what you want to see in the game, then this is a really good opportunity to play the game, see what you think should be added and give them that feedback. They have also said again that mods are supported right from the start, so we will be getting some more information about modding later. So custom content and even gameplay mods will be possible right from when we start playing, as soon as people start working on them. For live mode, we can manage a para's needs, wants, life goals, and career, but they're not fully fleshed out yet. They did also say for relationships and social aspects of the game, there will be the basics of things like friendships and interactions, but for now we won't be able to run social events, I suppose like weddings and parties and things like that, and we also won't be able to call another para. And life events like births and deaths will happen, but for now they're not currently fully fledged events, and the town itself also has some things for us to explore, but it's currently quite limited. They've also said that certain features they've shown over the years might not be included to start with, so they showed ziplining and taking the shoes off when entering the house as examples. I think that's fine. It would be nice to know which ones, because some of them, we've seen for quite a while, they've been on YouTube for a bit and people are excited for them, but honestly it's not that big of a deal. We'll probably get them all, or most of them at least, at some point during early access, so it's something to look forward to, I suppose. They did also say not to expect hundreds of hours of gameplay right from the start, so things will be fleshed out during early access and we'll get there eventually. For Paramaker, they pointed out that some hairstyles and clothings will be missing. I'm not really worried about Paramaker, to be honest. I think we've seen quite a bit of it already. Like, they've shown us some videos of creating some paras. We've seen all these different features from Paramaker in various videos, so I feel like it seems quite fleshed out already. Even just, those start to finish videos of creating paras, like there's quite a lot in there already. Like, I'd probably be quite happy with that for many, many, many hours. And also, since they're allowing mods right from the start, anything that's really missing, I'm sure we'll get some like amazing mods for very quickly. Same for build mode, to be honest, like objects and things that are missing, I'm sure we'll get some really great custom content. But from what we've seen, it already looks quite feature rich already, and it's only really going to get better from here in early access, so we'll get to play around and see what we think. For build mode specifically, we'll be missing things like pools and basements. And also, did you guys notice the dead body in the basement? I thought that was pretty funny. They also pointed out that more advanced stairs and roof tools will be coming later, so the stairs and roofing tools that will come in early access will probably be quite basic, but we will be getting more advanced versions of those later. And similar to Paramaker, like I think we've seen plenty of build mode already. We've seen them build and decorate houses in various videos. They've shown curved walls, raising the height of objects, rotating, and all sorts of advanced stuff. So I'm sure there will be quite a bit of depth in there already, but we might be missing a bit of content, and I'm sure there will be bugs. But again, it is early access, so just keep in mind there will be bugs, there will be missing things. But again, things like objects that are missing can be added with mods, so if there's any gaps we can fill them ourselves while the team has some time to actually add more content. So just to summarize, it's early access, so don't expect a fully fleshed out complete game. More features and content are going to be added during early access over the next couple of years. And also keep in mind, this is a small indie team with limited resources and the game is not finished. But from what we've seen, I'm very confident the team is listening to feedback and will continue to listen to feedback. But also they're working on a new game and they're adding things that we might not have even considered before in the life sim genre. I'm looking forward to seeing how they approach things in new and unexpected ways. Maybe not everything will work perfectly, but I'm really excited for the fresh approach. And that's all for today. If you wanted to go back and watch my previous Paralives updates, I do have a playlist which is linked on the screen now. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss a future update. But that's all for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.